Welcome to Life Mastery for Women. I'm your host, Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. I've been studying mind mastery and emotional management and energy work and its connection to spirituality for over 25 years. And in this podcast, I help guide you out of your daily struggles in life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality. Life is hard, but your daily growth doesn't have to be. Join me 3 times a week as I lead you inward on a healing, connecting, and creating journey. Let's go get that nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. This night was particularly heavy. The air, the clouds, the sky, the room was small. The ceiling even seemed shorter. And even the street light seemed dim. Everything was heavy and still and quiet. And as the night droned on, I look at the clock. It's 1:12 a.m. and I'm still up, pacing, staring at the 4 walls, looking at my cat, wondering what the hell I have created. My life is so stupid. I hate it here. And so many people on this planet, and I am connected to none of them. And I feel this heaviness in my heart. And I just seek this greatness. Or at this point, I would even settle for mediocrity. Sometimes I felt like I was going crazy with the emotions, this like up and down roller coaster. And the room felt like it was closing in. And I remember thinking, maybe I should go outside, just go for a walk. It's a beautiful late spring, early summer kind of day. I live in the middle of a small city. I could just go for a walk. That might clear my head. And I do. I get on a sweatshirt and my favorite hiking shoes, and I go out the door and down the steps in this quadruplex that I lived in with my ex that lived down the hallway. I had just found out she cheated on me. I was devastated. As I get to the end of our little driveway, I look up at her living room light, and it's out. She's probably sleeping fine. I was miserable. My life was miserable. I had a stupid job. I didn't have any friends. And now this person I thought I was going to spend my life with has cheated on me and lied to me and broke the very soul of me. I felt empty and lost. Like, what am I going to do? What am I doing with this information? And inside I was screaming, but because I was so empty, there was no sound. There was no movement. I was like dying inside. Inch by inch that I hit the pavement and walked on the sidewalk under these city lights, under this very dark blue sky, hearing planes and distant cars and occasional people walking their dogs. I've never felt so alone in my life. And it was in this instant that I'm thinking, that thought that I remember so many years ago as a 12-year-old pacing on our shed overlooking the cornfield. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be. This can't be it. This can't be all there is. There's got to be something out there that is better. I finally get back home. It's a little after 3. I'm pretty much wide awake. But I figured I'm a little chilled. I'm going to go in and I'll get ready for bed and I'll get under the covers and I'll snuggle with my cat and I'll just sleep so well and tomorrow will feel better. I get in the comforts of my bed and under my favorite blankets and with my favorite pet. And I pull the covers up to my neck and I'm snuggled in. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to fall asleep in any second and this nightmare will be over. I'll be one day past this feeling of emptiness. And immediately my mind starts racing. All these thoughts of past, the me as a child who was full of life and vigor and energy. And I had some close friends. I had people I could talk to. I lived with my mom, and for the most part, my mom and I got along pretty well. I felt like I could talk to her. I felt safe with her. And I had sports that kept me going and kept me focused, and that was fun, and I was confident, I was good, and I had my bike, and I could ride, and I could climb things, and I could play. And then I go right to the present moment. Like, what have I done? Like, where is that fun, adventurous part of me that got lost in this moment with this person? Like, I invested everything. All of my energy, all of me got invested, got put in this bucket that this person is carrying. And I got lost. And now I'm in this position that I've come to understand. First and foremost, don't put everything you own, like don't put all of your being into somebody else. Because no matter what happens, one day you're going to be without them. And that emptiness that I felt that day was immeasurable. I was literally an empty bag blowing in the wind. I was an empty pop can rolling down the street. I had nothing about me that was good. I had no goodness left in me. I didn't care about a single thing in my life. I had nobody and I had nothing. And I was empty. And it was the worst feeling of my life. And I remember at that moment when I'm lying in bed and I'm comfortable in my blankets and I can hear my cat right next to me purring, snuggling with her whiskers right on my cheek. And I'm thinking, I'm never going to be here again. Either I'm going to release myself from this planet, which would kill my mom, or I am going to vow to myself, I am going to make the deepest, most profound promise to myself that I will never, ever come back to this place. Never. That was 1995. And I never came back to that place. I moved out of that emotional zone, making a vow and a promise to myself that I would never do that. Meaning, I would keep a part of myself when I invested in a relationship. That I never would lose myself so much so that if something happened, that I would die inside. That I made a promise, and I kept it from that day forward. Now, I would also like to tell you that my life didn't immediately change and shift and become so miraculous and so wonderful. That moment on was very hard, and coming out of that takes a lot of time and a lot of self-love. And it was hard. It was hard. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do, but the grass became greener and greener and greener the more I went inside and the more I found a best friend within myself. And that became my business. It became the core of who I am. It became the value that I teach other people. I pass that along to everybody I come into contact with who is struggling in any way. Go inward. Find that soul person inside and become your own best friend, and you will never be alone ever again. I remember in other relationships is lying in bed next to the person and feeling more alone than if I were to be alone. It's awful. I remember waking up the next morning and finally getting up out of bed, brushing my teeth, and looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, holy crap, like I don't even recognize myself. I stood on the scale, and in 3 days, I lost 10 pounds. And I remember that later that morning, I hadn't seen her for like 2 days or so. And later that morning, she came to my apartment, and she walked in, and she was pretending to care for me. And when she saw me, she was like, oh my God. Like, I didn't have a lot of meat on my bones anyway, but to lose 10 pounds, it was very obvious. And so she made me a couple of eggs and some toast or something. And I remember sitting at my teeny tiny little kitchen table and sitting across the table from her and feeling so angry. And not angry at her necessarily, but angry at myself that I didn't see the signs. And angry at myself that I gave this person everything that now where I'm at is so empty. And it was time to fill myself. It was time to fill my own bucket. And I remember that promise. And when I kicked her out of my apartment and I said, I need some time. I can't be around you right now. And the look on her face was like she had no idea, which also angered me. But like this questionable, like, really? Like, why do you want me to leave? And I'm like, you got to go. You have to go. You have to get away from me. I need to think, and I can't think with you sitting in my apartment. You have to go. And I avoided her as much as I could. And I would love to say that it was the end of that relationship, which it should have been. It should have been probably a year and a half before that too. But, you do stupid stuff and you have to learn. But I remember that the several times after, when things would happen, stupid things like this, I didn't feel so empty the next time. And I remember thinking, I think it's getting better. Like, I think that I'm in here somewhere and I am going to find myself. And that journey took me to a wonderful place over several years. It took me to a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful place to where I am now. I am a full bucket. I have self-love. I have confidence. I have a self-esteem. I am very proud of who I have become. I am in love with a woman who we've been together for, it's like 12 years. And it's an amazing, deep, connected relationship. And we have not given ourselves 100% to the relationship. We are 100% in and 100% committed, but we have not emptied ourselves into each other, if that makes sense. Self-love is the path to greater awareness and greater love and just enjoyment and enjoying the world around you. And I remember feeling anxious that I wasn't going to find it and fearful that I was going to spend my life alone or going from one unhealthy relationship to another. And I didn't want to look at my life again and say that what I have created was so stupid. And in that promise that I made to myself, I make to others. And I say, you're in there. And I say things like, I will believe in you until you do. And I say things like, when you fall off the horse, get back on it. Because eventually, once you build the confidence, your horseback riding career will be every bit of joyful that you could even imagine. If I didn't keep going, if I didn't get back on, if I continued to empty my bucket every single time, my life would still, many, many years later, be miserable. And it is up to you to get up every day and look yourself in the mirror and look in your eyes, connect with your own soul and say, I know you're in there and I love you. And I know you're in there and I am willing to do what it takes to meet you, to bond with you, to connect with you, and to build a relationship with you. And it is going to be in those moments when you stare back at your own eyes that you will connect. You will get chills, your heart will beat, You'll get butterflies in your stomach because right then and in that moment, you are becoming your own best friend. And you can trust yourself, and you can forgive yourself, and you can have fun, and you can never feel alone again because you are not alone. There's several parts to you. There's this physical being part that's anchored in this world with these 5 senses, exploring your current environment. Then there's this other part of you that is the greater part, the higher self, the godlike part, the spirit, the soul, that is the real you, seeking this earthly experience. That is who you want to be friends with. Because that is the person who guided me, who gave me the experiences that I did to bring me to where I am today, who dropped the books off the bookshelf at my feet that says, here, read this, that put the person in front of me that said, here, maybe you should look at this person instead. Maybe you should go get this job. Maybe you should go over here. Maybe you should make this choice. And it led me to the place where I am today, where I am a very proud woman and have a solid family and great relationships and wonderful friendships and a beautiful existence. And some days I will tell you, I fall off the horse. I forget. I forget a day of meditation. I forget a day of journaling. I forget to be in that present moment. And it doesn't take me long to be like, whoa, okay, that mood dropped pretty quick. And I do that assessment and I do that check-in and I say, okay, it's time to get back to work. And I get back on the horse. And the ride is beautiful because the fall isn't quite so far the next time. The fall isn't quite so drastic. But I want to tell you, voice to voice, my heart to your ear, listen to what I'm telling you. Look yourself in the mirror. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Look yourself in the mirror and look it back at your eyes and say, I love you. And say, I'm going to do whatever it takes to connect with you and to find you and to start filling your own bucket. Start filling yourself with self-love. Do what a best friend would do. Talk to yourself as if it was your own best friend, giving care and empathy and a hug and kind words and grace and patience. Because when you do that, you are going to build what you want. You're going to get the dream that you want. You're going to get the relationship. You're going to get the abundance. You're going to find the job or the career. You're going to start uncovering the authentic version of yourself. But you can't do that through self-loathing. You can't do it through self-hate, and you can't do it by dumping your entire being into someone else. Nobody is responsible for you except you. Nobody is responsible for your happiness. I remember listening to a podcast years ago. This fired me up, and I hope these words fire you up. But this person said, no one is coming to save you. There is no horse. There is no white knight. There is no Calgary. There is no one is coming to save you. And I found myself to be in a very empowered position right then that said, you know what? I have everything I need to make a successful life. I have everything I need to become a happy person and to find the love of my life. And from then, I can build this relationship and build this life with this support system and this deep friendship. And I'm going to go and achieve my dream. Because I kept my dream alive. I am meant for something great. And I'm still figuring out all the pieces to that. But I will tell you this. Inside, I am great. And inside, you are great. It is time to uncover. It is time to peel back the beliefs and the limiting beliefs that you think you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, or you're not thin or fit, or you're not beautiful, or you're not rich enough. You have the power to change all of that and to live your dream, whatever that means for you. But to move forward, to look towards your future and to start talking as if you are bringing it into your reality. uncovering those beliefs and that negative self-talk and releasing that emotional pain that holds you back. Every single time you fall, you get back up. You dust off, you retie your shoelaces, you stand up straight, and you be brave, and you be courageous. And you say, you know what? I'm here, and as long as I'm here, I am going to move forward. And I'm going to disconnect from the people who do not support me. I'm going to continue my road and my path to my joy, to my happiness, to my dream. And you just keep going, and you just get up. And I remember pulling myself up and going, yep, I did it again. Because you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. I made mistakes, and it was okay. I am happy in the collective part of my life. Am I still moving? Am I still creating a dream? Yes. Am I still going? Yes. Am I still learning every day? But my fall is not that hard. And never again, except that one time, did I ever feel so empty. Never again. My heart is full. My best friend is my soul. And I want that for you. So keep going. Get back up. Figure out your practice. What are you going to do every day? Try to be thankful for the things that you have in your life, even when you are in the bottom of the barrel. When you're in the bottom of the barrel and your lid is on, the thing you can be thankful for is, well, at least I'm not in the snowbank. At least I have all my fingers. At least I can hear the birds singing in the trees. There's always something to be thankful for, and I want you to dig deep, and I want you to find it, and I want that to be a part of your daily practice. Is you wake up in the morning and you think, you know what? What am I thankful for? I'm thankful that I like this color paint on my walls. It's stupid. It doesn't matter. Because when you start putting out the vibration of gratitude, you're going to start rising up. You're going to start moving up in your frequency. And when you start rising, when you start moving up in your frequency, new opportunities come your way. New people, new experiences, new possibilities, things that you never saw because you are standing up rings on the ladder and you look around and you're like, wow, I didn't know that was up here. The view is amazing. I'm only 8 feet off the ground. That's what's going to start happening. I want you to create a gratitude practice. I have a box. It's an old cigar box. I love cigars. And I have a little stack of scrap paper in there with a pen, and I write the month and the year. And I'm like, thank you for this experience. Thank you for me meeting this person. Thank you for this book that I'm reading. Thank you for chapter 10 because it was amazing. Thank you for my podcast. Thank you for the story I got from a previous listener that told me how much my podcast number 335 saved her life. What an amazing story. What an amazing message I got from somebody. That a podcast that I recorded in my basement, some story, some teaching, some one episode saved somebody's life. There's a lot to be grateful for, and I want you to find it. I want you to look yourself in the mirror every single morning and say, I love you. Look at yourself in the mirror, all of you. Look yourself in the eyes and say, I love you every morning. And I want you to begin a meditation practice, connecting, slowing down, going inward, creating that introspection, going in to where your soul resides, because your soul is going to speak to you through that intuition. And you can't communicate if you're talking. You can't communicate if you're complaining. You can't communicate if you're not listening. And we can't listen if we are too busy complaining about the things in our lives. And I get it. I'm like the number one complainer. But I'm telling you, gratitude, having those things that you're grateful for. Sorry for that long pause. I was writing gratitude. Saying to yourself, I love you in the mirror every morning, every single morning, without fail, every single morning, and beginning a meditation practice. I think, sorry, I'm writing that one down too. And I want you to write it down. First one's gratitude every day, every morning. 10 things that you're grateful for. Do it throughout the day. Start to bring up your own vibration. Number 2, I love you in the mirror, in your eyes. Stand there, stare, take it in, look at the colors, look at your freckles on your face, look at the curls in your hair, look at your eyebrows, look at your mouth, look at your teeth, look at you in the mirror, the physical form, and understand there is a soul behind those eyes staring back at you. Vow to become that best friend. Search for it. Search for your soul within you and begin that meditation practice. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. I have never felt more connected, solid, confident, empowered, enriched, just connected to the earth, connected to Mother Earth, connected to the cosmos, connected to source energy, balanced, here, real, raw, authentic. And I want that for you. I found my inner love and my inner peace and my harmony. And there are days that just is up and down. There's days where I have bad moods. There's days where I'm like, I might get out of bed tomorrow. I think I'm just going to do nothing today. And it's okay. I know how to fill my own bucket. My soul is my friend. And I want that same thing for you. So please listen to what I'm telling you, especially if there's anything going on in your life that you're just like, screw this, I'm out. I am so sick of, dealing with this, or so sick of whatever. It's like, you continue the journey, start the journey, make the promise that you're never going to feel that crappy again. Your brain can be your worst enemy or your best alliance. And I suggest that it becomes your best alliance. I hope this found you well, and I hope this really connected with you today. If you're feeling low, understand that the words that I'm saying come straight from my heart and right to yours. If you ever need someone to talk to, you send me a message. I got you. In the meantime, I love you. Look yourself in the mirror and say it back. From my soul to yours, have a great night, and every single thing will look better in the morning. If you enjoyed this show, please consider making a small donation. This helps me to continue creating powerful episodes for you each week, but also you become a bigger part of changing the world by changing yourself one episode at a time. By investing in my show, you are investing in yourself, your life, and your planet. And by elevating yourself, you are elevating others around you. And I thank you.